Remember how easy it was to learn your ABCs? Thank the Mickey Mutineers. They invented them.
There are thousands of Disney podcasts on the internet, and this is one of them. I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
I'm Jordan.
And you're listening to
Yeah, Mickey Mutineers!
Tonight, Jordan is on the phone with Ryan.
No, hold on.
You think I'm joking? I'm not. If you're tuning in live, you can see it.
All right, Ryan, you're live on speakerphone.
All right, look, first off, one finger. All right, so there's that.
There's a joke there, too.
Good. I'm only on one finger, officially. Two,
There's a joke
I don't know what the fuck's happening.
God, you're just rolling with the jokes.
All right, well, Ryan, you're going to have to keep us posted, sir, on your technical difficulties.
You know what Ryan should do is just do this via his phone.
Technical, mental, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure this out.
Sure, we'll figure this out.
Welcome to the Mickey Mutineers podcast.
Morgan, now you do.
What?
Hold on, I haven't introduced Morgan yet. Hold on.
What?
God.
I don't know why you're saying talking to him. He can't hear you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the only one who can hear him.
Jordan, translate for me. Be
Like
my
with
angry
what,
Ryan
sign language? He's on
translator.
the phone.
Hold on, I'm signing right now.
Okay. Ryan, he said something, and the horse you rode in on is what he said. is what he said.
Hey!
Where did he go?
What is happening? Anyway, after all of these shenanigans, guys, we're here to tell you we're actually going to do a serious episode tonight. Obviously.
We started off so strong, too.
Jordan has planned for us a very, very good roundtable discussion. But first, Morgan, a.k.a. Tiki Goon, is here. Morgan, it has been a while.
It's been a minute.
Yeah.
I'm usually on that side or
I
wherever
know.
the chat is.
But also, you are over there. I can see your comments.
I know, I'm there too.
You're still there. And
I know
Ryan
that
was
guy.
here. And Ryan, it has been a week.
I think he's still mad about the pack mules.
That's what this is all about.
Hey, no, listen, fuck you. Time's going to tell on those pack mules.
They're gone. They're dead. They killed them all. Euthanized.
Well, fuck. This took a really dark turn.
That's where turkey legs come from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
50-year-old pack mules.
and the burgers at Westward Ho. I'm pretty sure Westward Ho is also gone, but I don't even know if that was in Disneyland. Guys, this is a Disney podcast, and we have technical. That sounded like a really weird edit point, didn't it? Like people are gonna listen back to this and be like, "What did they just cut out? It was nothing. I cut out nothing." I just can't focus on one thing. Also, you'll notice Josh isn't here tonight.
And somehow we're just as chaotic. I don't know.
It's because you brought me in.
I thought the energy would be different. It is not. So, Josh, I know you're listening to this, at least in the future. And how is the future, by the way? Text me and let me know. Before we get clear off the rails or onto the rails and then off the rails again, Morgan, we're going to get your plugs in right now, right at the top of the show, because you're actually doing something really important.
Yes. I am raising money for Make-A-Wish.
Yes.
Yeah. And the goal is 1,500. We're halfway there so far. I got about two weeks left until I'm going to rappel off of a 22-story building.
I'm sorry, what?
Wait, is it your wish?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm working with a group that, with the fundraising stuff like that I get to rappel off of a hotel in Buckhead, Atlanta.
Okay.
Willie?
So I think I'm here because Morgan's going to do Ghost Recon for Mission Impossible. Is that what I heard?
Where are you?
Are you in the bathroom?
That's what it looks like.
Why would I have a cart of alcoholic beverages in my bathroom?
First of all, have you seen
That's
my
what-
bathroom?
Hold on. Yeah,
That's
like,
one.
Why?
Two.
One.
Yes, I
why
am.
wouldn't you?
Wait, you are?
I like
I
that
was about
this.
to say, I've been to Ryan's house, and for a second I thought it was his bathroom too, because that's also the color of his bathroom, the color of the walls of his bathroom downstairs. I was like, wait a minute.
Just saying.
I don't know how
Acoustically,
spacious you
it's
think
sa-
my bathroom is, but like this doesn't. That's not a thing.
Ryan, I've also
Also-
seen you. You're a tall, very manly man.
Oh, you
So-
know what? This doesn't look like. This looks like your.
That looks like,
not a good example. Yeah,
That's perfume.
my bad. All right, now I'm ready.
And this is a lot like the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Right, that's why I came in. I was like, make a wish. I should probably bust out the tequila, right? Yeah, tequila.
So Morgan, how can people help? I wanna get people to your cause before Ryan takes us way too far.
The best way to do it is I will put a link in my Twitter and my Instagram bios. Just go to Tiki Goon at any social media. That's me, TEEKIGOON, and then just click the link and donate to your heart's content.
Hell yes, and watch him on Twitch. I do
That
enjoy
too.
your
Oh
stream.
yeah, I do that also.
Isn't that like where most of your stuff is?
Yeah.
Probably should have led with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids are more important.
Yeah. And Mr. Lou87's here in the comments saying, "Good evening,
What am I-
gentlemen."
It's one of my Twitch people.
Hell yes.
Hello, Mr. Lou 87.
Welcome to the show.
Wait a minute. Hold on. How do you know that person, Morgan?
I met him at Disney World.
Was Lou his first name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, you and Jordan both met him at
Oh my God,
Atlanta
Jordan.
Comic-Con.
It's fucking Lou Bega. Shit.
Sorry.
Still waiting for that follow-up. I'm waiting for that number 6. Waiting for that number 6.
I do think that like I want on my gravestone that joke. Like I want my tombstone to like read the like transcript of that joke that we made. Because I think that's probably the best thing to society we will ever contribute, Jordan.
Lou Bagel?
Lou Bagel, yeah, with the
Yeah.
comma number 5,
Yeah.
where they
yeah.
would just put 5 bagels in the bag, but they would count it out like a song.
1, 2,
2,
3, 4, 5.
3, 4, 5, yeah.
But, like,
That was the dumbest fucking joke we
It's
came
so
up with.
stupid.
It wasn't even on this podcast. It was on our other podcast. And somehow it jumped to this one.
well, first of all, the other podcast died.
It did. A horrible death. Got put out of his misery, like Old Yeller.
It was taken out back.
Yeah, and it was given the old 1-2.
Jeez.
And then Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't it jump to our third podcast?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. And we figured that it should make 4 now with Mickey Mutineers. So, yeah, Jake.
I do want to point, first of all, I'm going to point out 2 things. Mr. Lou says that they did do a follow-up, so I'm going to need a full report on this follow-up to Mambo number 5. Secondly, this joke has transcended podcasts. It will be making an appearance in an episode of What the Heck is Jake Talking About?
5.
This is the greatest joke that no one's gonna hear.
One day they'll hear it. It's never been told in its entirety.
Hold on. Let me rephrase that. This is the greatest joke that the 4 of us are gonna hear.
Hey, I'm pretty sure, isn't your niece on it, Jake? That's 5.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get it.
She was there. Jordan was the one that said it. It's been recorded. So
Okay.
it was recorded over a year ago.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't remember that.
Hey, serious podcast? What?
Oh yeah, no, we're guys, we're here to talk stuff and things. Should we talk some Disney?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess.
Did I just interrupt? Like I click the button, I hear, let me ask, and then gone.
No, I said play that intro, Jake.
Oh.
I thought I got it in before the buzzer. We'll see in post. We'll find out.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure Morgan said, let me ask, and then it was,
Nah, I said might as well.
oh. Ryan, was it you? It's recorded. I'll go back and
Do it. I didn't say anything.
Roll the tape back.
Hold on.
Giuseppe!
Giuseppe! Roll back, push pause. This is more important. Mr. Lou says that it's called I Got a Girl.
That's not Mambo number 6 at all.
No.
I bet it doesn't even mambo. But
You know what? That's actually a really funny idea. If I was Lou Bega, I would just say every song was a follow-up. So then everyone has to listen and they're like, this isn't combo number 6. I'm like, okay, this one is.
Or
Just call it combo number 6.
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it does start that way? Darn, I was about to say, is it a prequel?
And at
But
the end,
no,
he's like,
apparently.
I have one, but like, look at all these other women. And then that leads to Mambo. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've never heard Mambo's number 1 through 4.
Mm-hmm. What was that?
He says
Did you guys see that tweet that somebody sent out about Mambo number 5? Hold on, let me find it.
So they still called tweets?
I think they're called Xeets.
Yes.
Zeets?
Xeets.
I think I had Zeets once. You have to get a cream and rub it on your balls. It gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to eat the Xeets.
Yeet the Zeets. That's what it said on the bottle.
I hate
Yeah.
all of that.
So did I. It itched and burned.
Oh, no, I was fine until Ryan's comment.
Yeah. Eat the Xeet. You're a teacher. You don't eat means. You hear that all day.
I know. That's why I didn't like it coming out of your mouth.
The good news is Yeet
We're
the
too
Zeets
old,
is
Ryan.
now the title of this episode.
You know what? I want like $1. Like, give me $1 because I do think that 3 of the episodes have been named after something I said. So I need some proprietary. Like, I need some shit out of this.
Hold on. If I gave you $1, Ryan, you would instantly become the highest paid member of this program.
Isn't that a great idea, though?
It's why
Like,
he
don't
didn't
you
ask for a
want it?
percentage.
Right. Don't you want it to not be like you or Jordan or Josh? Like, it should be someone who's like not even rarely here.
Okay, Ryan, I'm going to give you the $1, but Morgan gets merchandising rights.
Yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Well, Jawa's on.
Oh, wait, no, shit, no. Wait, we actually have merchandise.
No, you said it. It's on here. Morgan gets it.
Oh,
I get kickbacks on the merchandise I buy.
Yeah, you get the merchandise.
Oh, here's the tweet. It said, Mambo's number 1 through 4 were tragically lost in the destruction of the Great Library of Alexandria.
Did you write that tweet?
No,
The Venn diagram of Jordan.
Right, like, listen, very rarely
Mounting
do I
a
ever read
spaceship
a
Earth.
tweet. Do I read a tweet and get fucking angry that I didn't write that one? That's one of the ones that I got really angry.
I mean, same. I'm angry that you didn't write it either. So, Jordan, I'm going to need you to step it up.
Again, another example,
what I can
Jordan,
do.
where it would have been really funny if that was your tweet, where you're like, oh, yeah, I guess it was. And you're just on here reading your own tweets.
Oh, yeah, look at that. That was me.
Oh, it was me.
Oh, that was me. 2021. 2021 me was so clever.
You know, hold on. Along those lines, I get the stupid Facebook memories from like 13 years ago. Me, I was really funny. I don't know what happened.
What happened? Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Crippling depression.
yeah, probably.
And you just gesture broadly for the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, just like what happened.
They really just beat it out of you.
It's a perfect segue into this topic that Jordan has prepared for us via the magic of PowerPoint. Just kidding. That's
Oh, right.
Via the
Right
magic
there.
of interpretive dance.
I'm pulling my PowerPoint. Hold on.
I swear to God.
I'm waiting here.
Oh my God. It was in the fire of Alexander. I'm sorry, guys. It got bad. Shit.
Well, I wouldn't have sandwiched it in between Mambo's number 2 and 3, dumbass.
Well, look. How else am I going to remember where to find it?
There was no Dewey Decimal System yet.
Right.
It was just the Mambo system. That's all we had.
Mambo, 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 mambo.
God damn it.
Now let's move into a super serious subject.
Oh my God. All right.
Because we're trying really hard, okay?
Well, let's put air quotes around that phrase.
We're really
Jordan
hard,
did
okay?
tell me, he was like, this is a serious podcast. I was like,
Right.
you want me on it?
And then he invited me.
Yeah.
I read that text out to everyone whenever we were waiting for your computer to reboot. And he's like, a serious topic on the Mutineers? Yeah, sounds bulletproof.
And wouldn't you know it?
Jordan, what
Anyways,
is
yeah,
the
sorry,
topic?
go ahead.
What?
What the topic? What's the topic?
Oh,
You
so I
had
thought
this
we could
idea.
talk. I thought I had this idea while I was driving to work, and I was listening to another Disney podcast, and this wasn't one of their what.
How dare you? No, just kidding. Keep going.
This wasn't their topic that they were talking about, but they did mention something that kind of sent me down a train of thought of just how things have changed in the park. So 2020, the unthinkable happens. We have a global pandemic, and in March 13th or 15th. March 13th was a Friday. It was March 13th was a Friday. March 15th was following Sunday, and that was the last day of Disney World's operation until about June or July. And then July 2020, Walt Disney World had a tiered opening. So they opened Disney Springs first, and then the other tiers came. I can't remember exactly what order in which everything started to open, but with the reopening from or during the pandemic, not after the pandemic, but during the pandemic, a lot of things changed. They had to regulate how many people were into the park. They had to regulate how far away they stood. They had to regulate a bunch of other things. And certain things exist in the park now that are a holdover from the pandemic era that have just kind of been hanging around. And some would say that these things have overstayed their welcome. Some people welcome these changes. I thought that we could just talk about some of the things that happened during the pandemic and things that stuck around for the parks or that happened with the parks post-pandemic, and or is it a good change? Is it a bad change? And not necessarily, but I guess, but more importantly, how does it affect how the four of us tour the parks now? Because I can tell you that the last couple of visits that I've had since it opened up post-pandemic have been vastly different visits from pre-pandemic era Disney World. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So I'll go through a list of some things that have changed or what happened during the pandemic. So I mentioned that the park closed and it reopened, right? So we got that tiered reopening. We were practicing social distancing. We had to stay 6 feet apart from one another. But because the park there was a lot of uncertainty in those early days of the park reopening, the Disney company laid off tens of thousands of cast members as a result. So that's both coasts, right? I think it was something like, wasn't it like 28,000 cast members or something? Yeah. The college program was suspended, so everybody got sent home that was on the college program. They immediately shut down the cultural representative program. So a lot of the people who come internationally that work in the World Showcase were essentially told to pack their stuff, and they had to catch the earliest flight back to their home. So that since has been rolled back. I think they started to bring the cultural program back September of last year, October of last year. If I'm
yeah, roughly.
remember, yeah.
Yeah, broad vague gestures and everything. Just I don't know, man.
Right. So
happened.
when everything closed and the tier reopening happened, we lost a lot of cast members, and because we lost a lot of cast members, not everything was ready to be reopened whenever the parks did start to reopen. I remember whenever we went in December of 21, there was still a slew of stores that hadn't reopened, like the Muppets gift shop, or it used to be the Muppet gift shop. It's the gift shop that's right next to Muppet 3D.
Yeah,
that whole Christmas store, yeah. The Christmas shop that's back in that corner. A lot of the different stores within World Showcase, specifically the second half of the China Pavilion, was still closed. I think it's since reopened, but
It's open.
So all of that to say, we had a lot of stores that are still not open, and whether or not they're going to reopen remains to be seen. We also lost a lot of amenities at that point as well. Like the trams just came back, like what, 6 months ago?
Mm-hmm.
But not all parks.
Right, correct. So, amenities that we lost, such like I said, the trams. I'm trying to think of something else. Like I know I have
dining plan.
Dining plan. Okay, yeah. Then which they just announced that it is coming
back.
In January.
We lost the Tables of Wonderland deal.
Yep,
that's gone forever.
So there's no plans to bring Tables of Wonderland back.
Not that I know of, but
yeah, nothing's been announced, and if it has,
right. So on top of all of this, whenever D23 in 2019 happened, we learned about Genie Plus. So Genie Plus, which was going to replace the old Fast Pass Plus system, was going to be rolled out anyway. And the pandemic was kind of a way for them to kind of hurry up and get it out. I feel, I don't know if anyone else is in agreement. But when the parks reopened, there were a handful of things that came with that. So we now had to deal with park reservations. I think personally now, I think that they're kind of moot at this point. If we're back to pre-pandemic numbers at Disney World, I don't see the need to have a park reservation system. So what is everybody's thoughts on the park reservation system in general?
I guess I'm a weird since I'm an annual pass holder, so that's it's a little bit different. I mean, for me, like I've never had an issue getting the reservation anywhere I want to go. So it's kind of a moot point, like you said. Like if I'm not having trouble getting reservations, at this point, the only reason to keep them is to keep people from not hopping until 2. But then,
is it 2:00?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
But then I don't understand but still, like you don't need a park reservation to keep people from doing that anyways.
Right.
So that's about it for me. It's like it's right, but this latest trip I had no issues. The trip before that I had no issues. So I think it's just it might be more of a day ticket issue, maybe.
I also wonder if it ties into what Jordan just said of like an employee number thing, like
right.
Hey, we have this many people come to the park this day. We need to shuffle some people over to this or something. I don't know. I actually don't know that. That just popped in my head.
I mean, that's what it was originally used for.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
When the low numbers of cast members, they had to make sure like they didn't overrun the Magic Kingdom, so they would those reservations would block out to force people to have to go to other parks.
Oh, hey, look at that! I accidentally found something out.
So you mentioned a couple things, and these can all bleed together. So the park reservation system, and now we can't. And whenever the parks reopened, park hopping wasn't a thing. Like you chose that park, and then that was the park that you went to, and then the next day you wanted to go to a different park, you went to a different park.
Yep.
So they said temporarily suspended all of park hopping, and they brought it back, and is now you can't park hop until after 2 p.m. And whenever they brought it back, we were starting to, I think we were in the very early stages of starting to walk back on some of the COVID precautions. I do know that masks were still mandatory in the park when this was started to come back. So prior to that, we could park hop anytime during the day. Like you could rope drop Animal Kingdom at 8 a.m. and then be at Epcot at 9:30 if you wanted to. So how has that changed any way that you guys have toward the parks, or do you have to take that 2 p.m. time slot into consideration now whenever you go about your I guess just how you go about your day at the parks?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that if 2 o'clock is a pretty good enough time to where I think if I'm going to any park before that, I'm probably going to spend enough time to warrant leaving at 2 p.m. at least. So it hasn't been a problem recently. I think that it has drastically changed how I do things, because it's no longer a like, oh, you know what? There's like a 5-minute wait for this thing over at Animal Kingdom. Let's go over there now. It's a lot less reactive, and it's a lot more planning, which truthfully kind of favors more to like me as a person. I'm a lot more of like a planning individual, especially now Taylor and I are just like, we want everything down to a T. So it's really helpful in that case, but like, I'm really surprised it's still in effect. Like to Morgan's point, outside of just saying you have it in there just to have it, I don't understand what it's doing currently. Back in like 2020 and 2021, by all means, yeah, totally worth it to like control how many people are in each park. But now, if you have like the Tron Light Cycle opening, you have all these big rides opening and people are going and you're not like running out of availability, what's the point?
Right.
But to that point, this last trip, being down there, like you have Tron and you have Guardians, both virtual queue.
Mm-hmm.
So now with the reservation system, you have to pick which ride you want to do. Because there's no way you can get both virtual times in the same day.
True. Because what is it, 12, 11?
It's 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. You have to be in the park. So, like, that morning, you're like, okay, do we want it? Or the day before or whatever, it's like, do we want to ride Tron tomorrow? Try to get Tron tomorrow? Or do you want to try to get Guardians tomorrow?
So, hold up a second. So, you have to be in the park for the 1 p.m. virtual queue.
1 p.m., yes.
Okay, correct. Okay. Just making sure I didn't mishear that, because I was about to say I made a virtual queue in my resort room at 7 a.m. So I just wanted
for 7 a.m. ones you could be at your resort, but that's the thing that with the reservation you got to pick pretty much which attraction you're going to try for, and if you don't get it, that goes on to a different point that you're going to make later. But
you have one shot. Are they hold on? Are they still doing the virtual queues?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was in Disneyland last month, and they've just done away with that. Like the only virtual queue,
probably as they should. Like,
the only virtual queue they had was for the shows, like the World of Color show.
They got rid of the virtual queue for web slingers?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And yeah, even Runaway Railway didn't have one.
Huh.
Wow.
So, to my knowledge, the only two virtual queues at Disney World right now are Guardians of the Galaxy and Tron. Because I think they did drop Rise of the... Yeah. So now you have to wait in that 2-hour line, which is not fun.
Or
unless you go during the fireworks at Disneyland and run there, and it's a 20-minute wait.
Or you buy Lightning Lane.
There you go. Yeah, I think Morgan was setting you up.
I've done that, and when we'll talk about Lightning Lane here.
I did it my last trip.
I mean, I spent way more than I'm willing to admit on Lightning Lanes my last trip. mainly because we just wanted to get in what we wanted to do. And it sucks because I think on top of buying Genie Plus, which we'll get to in a minute, per day, I also stacked lightning lanes on top of that. Granted, lightning lanes that we wanted weren't too expensive. And I think the most I spent on a lightning lane was, I think we spent 17 for Guardians. So 17 each.
Let me think. I was there like last week. I spent, I think 18 each for Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think Rise, was 22.
Rise was 22. I think I only paid 15 for Rise.
It was high.
That must be a surge.
Yeah.
Surge hours. They'll get you every time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was also there with the tiered Genie Plus pricing too.
So we'll get into the Genie Plus in a minute, but you mentioned annual passes a minute ago. So let's touch on that.
Yes.
So whenever the parks shut down, they also ceased any purchasing of annual passes. And for the longest time, people were like, when are these passes coming back? When are these passes coming back? And then here comes Disney going, they're going to come back, and they're going to come back better. And then they were released for like 2 hours. And then not everybody got one. Like only a select few people who were on the website at a certain time got one. It's like they're open for like a minute. They were like, and then they sold out. So
there's only 3 of them though.
Right. And I probably should have like looked into the pricing of pre and post pandemic, but Morgan, you can probably fill us in on some of the pricing tiers since you said you repurchased an annual pass.
I'm cheap and bought the little one that I can only go on weekdays.
That's fair. Because I am also cheap.
And as a teacher, that means I can only go during the summer.
Oof.
Which is why I do a trip in June and a trip in July, and then I basically don't go again until the next June. But those 2 trips.
What name Disney character is your tier based off of?
I think it's Pixie. I think it's Tinkerbell. Pixie.
Are you looking them up right now? Are you looking them up, Ryan?
No, I just remember that there's one that's like called Incredible Pass or something for the
Incredipass.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Great pun.
I hate
Wasn't there like a pirate key? Something.
Let's see. Annual pass
Hold
options. We have the Incredipass. No, I don't need to upgrade my annual pass.
Do it. I dare you.
Sure.
Come on, right here on the show. If you do it, it's tax deductible for me.
I don't think that's how that works at all.
No, you bought it on this show.
Okay, so you have the Disney Pixie Dust Pass,
Is that
which is $3.99, and that's Florida residents only.
Okay, so that's not the one you have.
There, that is the one I have.
Oh, but wait a minute.
I have concerns.
Morgan, I don't want to get you in trouble, but notice that my name here is Bob Riger. So
I mean,
if I hear you saying
hey,
anything,
just saying. Open a bank account in Florida.
Is that all it takes?
I feel like
this now.
hold on.
Proof of residence.
I feel like this is some fucking offshore bank account bullshit, but for
This
Disney,
is my Wolf of
but for
Wall Street,
Disney
for
dollars.
sure.
Then you have a Disney Pirate Pass, which is also Florida resident. But then if you go to we have a Disney Vacation Club Pass now. The Disney Sorcerer
Pirate
Pass,
which is $7.49. Disney Sorcerer Pass, which is $9.69.
or
Nice.
$69 a month.
Nice.
And then you have the Incredipass, which is for anyone who's not a Florida resident.
Oh, that's me. And you.
Well,
And that's $1,400 a year.
Now, does that get you into everything ever? Everything.
I think there's some
Everything
exceptions.
ever?
Everything
weird.
ever.
Everything until the next year.
Oh, yeah. I mean, within that
Yeah.
year, like,
Yeah.
I could go that.
No blockout dates.
Magic Kingdom, SeaWorld, Universal, Margaritaville.
Wait a minute.
I said everything, and I mean
Jake
it.
having a stroke? Hold on.
No, for $1,400 a year.
I mean, it's $100 a month.
Okay, you know what? Yeah, that's
$108 a month.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Lou Bega says in 2016 his AP was for an out-of-state person was $650. So it's only
that's
gone up
pre-COVID prices.
250%.
So that's
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, that's about what we paid for our annual passes for. We bought ours in December of 2016, and Chelsea. I wasn't expecting us or her to buy annual passes for us, but we were getting married the next year on the cruise, and we were going to honeymoon in Disney World as well. So when we were there, she's like, "Let's just pay the difference and upgrade all our tickets to an annual pass." So she went. I think it was like $600 to upgrade, like the price difference between our tickets and what it would have cost us for. And at that point, it was just the annual pass. There was nothing. There was like a Florida residence one, and there was just the annual pass. So we didn't have any kind of restrictions on anything. Do you think? So Morgan, let me ask you this: How does having a very restrictive annual pass? You probably answered this a little bit ago whenever you said you can only go during certain times, but how does having a restricted annual pass affect how you tour the parks?
I pretty much I go all day if I can. I will go park open, park close.
Like you're getting your
Just
money's
because-
worth.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my money's worth because I can't go on weekends and I can't go on holidays. So like all Thanksgiving or spring break or Christmas, like all that's blocked out along with the weekends.
And of course,
So I
being a
literally can
teacher,
only
those
go-
are all those holidays that you get off.
So yeah, so I can go Monday through Friday. So then as a teacher, I only have off June and July. So that's when I go to Disney World during the last scene of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride.
Jesus, how do you do it?
Well, I mean, being a Florida resident, it's just a drive down the road for you, right?
8 hours.
Long drive down that road.
Just to drive down the road.
Yeah.
75
It's a hop and a skip.
between two states. There's a turnpike involved.
Yeah.
A small town here and there.
All right. So let's move on to the next one. So let's talk about Fast Pass Plus. All right. So I know that back when Fast Pass Plus was a thing, which was built into your My Disney experience, and it was something you got for free with your park tickets. It was complimentary with your park tickets, and you were able to select up to 3 Fast Passes to begin your day with. And then once you used all 3, you can keep making one additional one as long as they were available. I know a lot of people had an issue with Fast Pass Plus. Personally, I never had. I preferred it to the old paper Fast Pass system. I've never not been able to get a Fast Pass whenever I was on Fast Pass Plus. It's never ruined my queue experience, or I've never waited in a long Fast Pass queue. Can anybody speak to any of those experiences before we move on to what it turned into?
No, I never. So I used the Fast Pass Plus once, I think, when it was that system, and then the next time after that I went to Disney World was mid-pandemic, where there was nothing. And then I haven't done Genie Plus in Disney World, but I did it in Disneyland. So as we move on, that's going to kind of be my reference, my frame of reference. But to answer your question though, back then, no, it was easy to understand. And I remember when I booked that particular trip, they really drilled it into you how to use it. Like just booking the trip, they're like, hey, here's everything you need to know. Here's everything you need to know again. Oh, by the way, here's the app with everything you need to know. We're going to email you this about everything you need to know. And how people missed all of that, well, I'll never understand. Did you guys ever experience that?
I never experienced it, but I understand it.
Yeah, like,
I don't have a lot of faith in humanity, so that's one thing.
Neither does Disney, and they're not wrong. But
right. So, I mean, I think that we're in a interesting position because when any 4 of us, I assume, go to the Disney parks, we are a bit seasoned, right? With like knowing what to expect, knowing, okay, this is probably going to have a long wait. Let me do this. So I think the way that we would do the Fast Pass Plus was completely beneficial. Like, right, we know, hey, these are the top 3, top 5, whatever, that I definitely want to do. So let me get 3 of the 5 of those, and then we'll kind of, work our way down from there. I think people who don't know that, and people who aren't going to the parks as religiously as the 4 of us do, then I think that it's a little bit more of a toss-up for them, and it's just a little more chaotic. But from my experience, no, I actually really like the Fast Pass Plus. God, that sucks to say. A lot more than the previous ones.
Can you just imagine that person that's like, should I use it on Rise of the Resistance or Alien Swirling Saucers? They both sound so fun.
Yeah, I'm really between
Colorado.
the Slinky Dog Dash or the People Mover. I'm not sure which one I should use.
Whoa.
Do you need a
fight
fast
words over
pass
there.
for the People Mover?
You know what you don't need a fast pass for? The pack mules.
Not with that attitude.
But you do need a C ticket.
But to Bob
Mr. Lou
Riker's
said
point,
that People Mover never had a fast pass
No, it
option. It didn't need one because that was the little.
It's an Omni Mover. You just.
That was the point of the People Mover. It was efficient.
I guess Haunted Mansion is an Omni Mover too, and they have
And
fast pass.
Spaceship Earth, and Ariel's
So-
Undersea Adventure.
is it-
Oh shit!
but also to Ryan's point about how us 4 seasoned, approach it differently too. But like it's true. Like we'll sit there and we can get those fast pass pluses, and then we also have the benefit of knowing where we are in each park. So we're like, oh, cool. Teacups is a 5-minute wait. That's around the corner, and you can just kind of go. Then you hit the pass. You're in line. You book Pooh, which is another 10-minute wait. By the time you get off Teacups, you can get on Pooh, ding it again, and then you just move throughout the park. Where a lot of people, if they don't know the parks like we do, are going, Fantasyland over to Adventureland, back to Tomorrowland, up to Fantasyland, and things like that.
Yeah,
and I think there's credit to what you're saying, and but at some point though we weren't seasoned veterans, right? At some point we were still our first trip. We're like, I have no idea what's going on, and then maybe on our second trip, I have a little bit better of an idea. So like by the time you get your third or fourth trip in, damn it, Ryan. Then yeah, we like everything with experience, right? So, but I guess the reason I ask about Fast Pass is because now we have Genie Plus. So Genie was added to the My Disney experience, which was an effort not necessarily for people like us who have been multiple times, but mainly for families who are probably going for the first or second time that are still trying to figure out how they're going to tour around the park. Just because there's so much stuff to do, it can be very overwhelming. So I understand that the Genie app portion of the app is to, I'm interested in A, B, and C, and then Genie magically makes your day of, you should do this, this, and this in this order, right? Then you have the addition of Genie Plus, which was at one point in time it was a wet fart. It was
whoa.
it was
Not wrong.
$15. It was $15 a day per ticket, and you used to be able to add that on to your park ticket. So whenever I would book my tickets, I could say I want Genie Plus for these 2 tickets on days A, B, C, and D, and then that would just get put on your final total. Then they went to a sliding scale of Genie Plus. So for peak days, the price was higher than days that had lower attendance, right? And whenever they brought in the sliding scale of the peak attendance, they went to an a la carte. So you had to buy it the day of. You couldn't add it to your ticket before. So just between Genie and Genie Plus, coming from Fast Pass, how has that changed how you book your Fast Passes or tour the parks? Because now, something I failed to mention is we used to get 3 complimentary, Now we only get one. Now that one recycles every time, so you can
it's
use
also
it.
not complimentary.
Right, exactly. So it's not complimentary, and where we got 3, we get 1. And the idea is, yes, you can reset that or rebook something each time. But to my knowledge, because I've never tried it, is you can only book one ride one time. So if I rode Haunted Mansion and then 2 hours later I wanted to ride it again, I would have to wait in the queue. I couldn't go back and do another.
Correct.
So do you think that has been helpful to park, wait times? And how has that affected you guys as you tour the park?
I'm probably going to get flack for this from the Disney community, but I think it has helped with wait times.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. I think it has helped with wait times because you don't have that constant stream of people in that Fast Pass line like we did with Fast Pass Plus. If I wanted to ride teacups 15 times in a row using Fast Pass, I could. But now with this, you can. You do it once and then you're done. So, and on top of that, to the other point, it really Genie Plus, it really makes first of all, it's a very bad UI of an app. It's awful. I hate it.
Yeah, it's not good.
Garbage.
Not good.
It's terrible. Because stuff that's labeled things like, so when you open Genie Plus, you buy Genie Plus, right? For those for those of you who have not used it, you buy it, you open it up, and then you open it up, and to book your Genie Plus, there's 2 little columns you can click. One column says My Genie Day. The other one says Tip Board. Which one do you think you should click to book a Genie Plus?
I can tell you which one it's not.
So I have it pulled up right now in the Disneyland app.
Yep. And the answer is Tip Board.
Yeah.
Not the Genie one, the other one.
No, when I was in Disneyland last month, I don't even think I clicked the My Day app.
No.
I don't know what it does.
Well, it's what Jordan was talking about. It's for those people who are unseasoned, that don't know what they're doing, that kind of want to be led through the park. They don't know. Right. They don't know what they should do this. They don't even know what they should eat. They just go, oh, this is the kind of food I like. And then Genie's like, oh, you might like this place. Here's a reservation for 2:00. Or you might like this quick service. But at the same time, I know this is, by the way, I also pulled up how much Genie Plus costs today. Multiple parks, 27.
We're actually going to talk about that next. Because they've since changed it again. And I didn't know about this until like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long ago they changed it, but I just found out.
The week I was there. So
they literally just changed it.
Yeah, just changed it.
That was last week.
Shit.
Yeah. But no, it's created, the best way I can describe is that Fast Pass Plus was playing checkers. And Genie Plus is playing chess with your Disney trip. And it's a lot more thinking, a lot more work for the person in charge of doing the fast passes.
Yeah, so I think this ties into the whole us being seasoned vets at this, but that's how it was when I was in Disneyland last month. So what had happened, we were with my niece's husband was with us, and it was his first time at Disneyland. But I'm a seasoned vet, so I just kind of took control of the whole thing. And I don't know how it is in Disney World, but at Disneyland, you either, when you book your first Lightning Lane, you can't book another one until either 2 hours has passed, or if your other one is before the 2 hours, you check in for that ride.
Yes. Same thing.
Is that how it is in Disney World?
Yeah.
And so we, like, the first 2 hours of the park, and this was on 4th of July weekend, it was pretty packed, which also confused me with all those news reports of it not being packed. I was like, I was there. There was a lot of people. In just like the first 2 hours, we did Space Mountain, Indiana Jones, Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Rise of the Resistance. Like, we just moved through the entire west side of that park, starting with Space Mountain, which is on the east side, but still. And that's exactly what I was doing, was we'd hit the lightning lane, get in line right after I check in, just open the app, and like, all right, let's see what's available next. And I just kept moving down that list, and we had hit all of those in the first 2 hours. And so,
Right.
as opposed to the old system where, like Jordan had said, you pick 3 a day. I was able to really cheese this system to my advantage, and I thoroughly enjoyed it.
And you also know you're seasoned.
Yes.
And like, for example, when I was there last week, I was like, oh, we went to studios I think we went on Monday. We didn't get to ride Slinky Dog, so we are going to go again. So I was like, okay, that will be the 7 a.m. one I'll book is Slinky Dog. By the time I got into the system at 7 a.m., the first available Slinky Dog was at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
So
That happened.
if there's a
lot on our
family,
last trip.
right? So if there's a family that really wants to ride Slinky Dog, 4:30, and then those families get to the park and they either have to wait in lines or just don't show up. I mean, or wait the 2 hours to book another one. But by the time you wait that 2 hours to book another one, you may not get another Disney Genie Plus until 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock.
And there's a chance that those high profile rides are going to be gone.
Right.
So, yeah, I guess that's kind of what it comes down to in that situation is whether or not
But,
you know what
but
you're doing.
unless you're seasoned,
Right.
you wouldn't know that.
Exactly. You'd get there and think, oh, I guess this is normal.
So yeah, so that last week I was there. Yeah, I was buying Genie Plus every day. I was pretty much riding almost every ride in the park by the end of the day. There's a lot of families that are lucky if they get 3 rides in.
Yeah.
Right. So now we have this new pricing for Genie Plus. Now it's each park is a different price, and again on that sliding scale, if it's more of a peak day, it's a more expensive price, and then obviously, or maybe it's I'm gonna say this in air quotes, a less desirable park of the day, then it might only be like $15 or $16. So Morgan, you just said that you went ahead and bought Genie Plus for each of your tickets for this past day. With the money that you spend on Genie Plus, not Genie Plus the Lightning Lanes, but just Genie Plus, do you find that takes away from the other stuff that you could be doing in the park that you could put that money towards? Like maybe your choice is, I want this cool souvenir, or I want this cool T-shirt that's $30, but I would rather have Genie Plus to be able to make my Lightning Lane.
It's interesting to me because it's in my brain. It's the same kind of aspect of, like I have the AMC movie stubs thing. Like my brain, I just walked into that park not paying anything because I've already paid the annual pass price.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I didn't spend the $126 to get into the park. So not really. I mean, I'm still buying the same souvenirs, doing the same-ish food. But for the most part, it's usually just me or maybe one other person. So, like today, Magic Kingdom was $27 for Genie Plus. But if I was a family of 4 who just bought $120 tickets each person and now having to spend an additional $110 for fast passes. I mean, $110 for a family of 4, that could be a lower tier sit down dinner at the plaza.
Mm-hmm.
Or easily a quick serve.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see, for me, no, it doesn't really change anything because I now walk into AMC theater and I'm like, oh, that ticket was free because I've already paid that monthly due, and I go buy a popcorn.
Mm-hmm.
So it's things like that for me, at least.
Ryan, what about you? Because you don't have an annual pass, right?
No, I don't.
So how would that affect? Like if you were planning a trip hypothetically, and then that was something that you want to do, how would that affect you touring the parks the way that you used to versus how you would have to do it now with these new, I guess, restrictions, for lack of a better phrase?
Yeah, I think I think the best way to put it is that when I used to see things that I really wanted at Disney, I would be excited. And now I'm like, shit. So
Now you're
I
sad.
have to get it. Like, I'm going to get it. But like, I am thinking, okay, well, I already paid this much money to like, have my whole family on Disney or on Genie Plus, and I've paid this to make sure that my dad gets to ride Rise of the Resistance, because otherwise he's not going to wait the 2 hours to get there, and he's not going to come back here as often as I am. So you make those decisions. I think that I would definitely spend more in merch if I wasn't doing Lightning Lane and Genie Plus. But I mean, at the end of the day, like to Morgan's point, we didn't just pay for those tickets that day, right? So like we're going and we're just thinking, hey, I got admission, cool. Now how can I spend my money? So it's broke. It should not cost that much. But I think at the end of the day, because we love Disney so much, we're just finding ways to make it work, and that's what they're banking on. So it's not a deal breaker for me, but I'm sure I've bought less merchandise over the years since the pandemic because of that exactly.
Mm.
I'll agree with that. My only souvenir from this past Disney trip was an Indiana Jones action figure. So,
Which one?
Do you have it?
it's over here. I can get it real quick.
Yeah, Jordan, just put on a hat. I'm sure you look exactly like it. Oh my God, there it is.
Indiana Jones, how did you get here?
Oh, sorry, guys. That was just me. Let me take this off.
Whoa, where'd he go?
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the Shop Disney exclusive.
Yeah. So it's at Studios if you're looking for get this.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's
Well,
good.
not anymore. It's not. It's right there.
Not this one. There's others.
So I bought I
I
found a really cool website that has an upgrade kit for that Indiana Jones, and it comes with a different belt and a different pistol, because the pistol's made out of really malleable plastic.
The belt's terrible too.
Yeah, so it's a new belt, and it's a pistol with that's made out of harder plastic, and here's the best part: a wired whip.
Ooh,
yes.
send me that link.
I'll send you that link. All right, so we talked about Fast Pass Plus. All right, so like I said, we had 3 Fast Pass Pluses that were complimentary with your tickets and your admission to Walt Disney World. That went away with the addition of Genie Plus, that you now had to pay for your Genie Plus, which gave you they redubbed Fast Pass Plus Lightning Lane. They took 2 away from you. You can only do 1, but it's one that theoretically recycles, and you just can't use it. And then they gave you the additional option of the a la carte Lightning Lane Plus, which is a further cost on top of, if you're already doing park ticket, on top of Genie Plus for that park ticket, on top of paying these a la carte for these rides. Now, I know that we were discussing which ones that we normally do. I think it's usually worth it to get in your absolute must-dos. If I could steal a quote from our old pal Stacy in the Must Do Disneys, right? I miss Stacy. But she's not dead. She's still alive.
The show's dead.
Stacy.
But
She
her
follows
show's
us
gone.
on Twitter.
Sometimes she.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on Twitter.
That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
No, she
Sometimes
follows
they
the
put up
Mickey
a YouTube-
Mutineers, and I don't know why.
Every once in a
I
while,
follow
whenever I'm
Mutineers.
cleaning up around the house, I'll put on I'll find one of those videos on YouTube, and I'll just listen to the Must Do Disneys in the background.
Oh, I've done that.
But I think it's worth it, especially if you want to get on something like Guardians of the Galaxy, if you want to get on something like Rise of the Resistance. I haven't ridden Tron yet, so I'm not sure if it's worth it for Tron. I keep hearing conflicting things. I'm hearing something from Morgan right now that it's not worth it. Anyway, all of that to say,
Not worth the pay for it.
all of that to say, I have noticed that with the new Lightning Lane and Lightning Lane Plus, some queues have just astronomically grown. And the one that comes to mind is Tower of Terror. I used to never wait longer than 30 minutes, at most 30 minutes for Tower of Terror. And now I feel every time I go to the park, it's a minimum of like a 60 to 70 minute wait.
Yeah.
So there have been some trips where we just haven't been able to ride certain rides because the lines were just, for whatever, just unusually long for the time in which we go.
That park's an enigma. In a weird way.
It is.
Because in the weird way, because I don't know about you, but that park was my favorite park growing up.
Mhm.
But people, like, it's gonna sound bad, but people aren't going to Disney World. Disneyland's a different thing, but people aren't going to Disney World to watch shows.
Mhm.
So everyone just goes in lines. And with the park that doesn't have that many attractions, everyone's just in line.
Yeah.
Right, and I get that, but even pre-pandemic, it still had the same amount of attractions. Let's say that small amount of time, it didn't have Star Wars Land. But hold on, though, that's what I'm getting at. So, like, even from like that last part of 2019 to 2020, where Galaxy's Edge was open, it was still very accessible to get to. But now I've noticed that it's post-pandemic, and how with Genie Plus specifically, that's when I've noticed all of these lines getting longer. So I've noticed that we can't always get a lightning lane for Slinky Dog. We can't always get a lightning lane for Tower of Terror. Just for the reasons that you stated earlier, it's like I could be on my phone at 9 a.m. and the earliest one is at 3:30 in the afternoon. If I already have plans to park hop at 2, a lot of good that does me. So what's
what
the
they're
point?
hoping.
Right. So
They don't want you to leave. They want you to stay in the parks, because if you leave, that means you're on an hour, 30 minutes outside the park where you're not spending money.
right, but I am leaving because I'm going to another park.
But that's still an hour you're not spending money. Come on, Jordan.
But
I think back to your point. I think the major issue is we didn't have Genie Plus. So if you go into Star Wars, I mean, would you go this year in February, Jordan?
Yeah, we went in February.
Well, even like this summer, I don't know how it was for you in February, but like when I went and saw Galaxy's Edge when it first opened, or like even like during pandemic times ish, Star Wars Land was packed full of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, packed full of people.
Yeah.
And now I think because of Genie Plus and how they are strategically putting fast passes out there. There's no thing. They have to be. I think they're actively forcing people to other aspects of the park as opposed to allowing Star Wars Land to get absolutely bogged down full of people. I mean,
But that explains the long lines elsewhere in the park, which is what I'm getting at.
Well, no, but like people don't want to wait in those long lines in Star Wars Land.
Right. So
I
they go.
mean,
I don't want to wait in a long line at all.
I mean, I agree.
I mean, I get.
But this is also it's a once in a lifetime trip for us.
Right. That's again valid. So I will say that pre-pandemic, we always felt like we could go and get in at least one ride on everything we wanted. If we were lucky, be able to ride it again later in the day, or be able to ride it again on the next, Epcot day or Magic Kingdom day or whatever. So, but now I find with that, with the addition of Genie Plus and how other queues have just grown because of Genie Plus, or after the implementation of Genie Plus, that's sometimes we don't even get to ride the stuff we want to at least once.
Yes, because I think there is a vast majority of people that aren't paying for it.
No, I mean that's absolutely. That's probably.
I mean, for example, and pre-pandemic, you had half of that queue line in the Fast Pass line because it was free.
Sir, you just blew my mind. And this is very simple. I don't know why I never thought about this. But now that it costs extra money, that you're going to have people not buying it.
Yep.
Oh, that's where those lines are coming from. Is those people?
But it's like, but Studios is also this weird enigma of a park too, because like you go to Magic Kingdom, for example, and I think it's just because you just have a large swath of rides. But I mean, Seven Doors Mine Train since Genie Plus, usually around 90 minutes, used to be 120. Peter Pan, I think that sign just permanently broken on 75 minutes.
Yep.
If you look close, it's just Sharpie.
All right, I think, and like, Big Thunder. I think the longest. I've seen recently on Big Thunder was like 40 minutes. Jungle Cruise is also another weird enigma of a ride, just because it's a slow loader.
A slow loader that has regained popularity because of the movie.
Yeah, but it's just Studios is such a weird park.
It really is.
It's I don't know how to explain it. It's always crowded, but not crowded, but somehow crowded.
That is the one park where I have the hardest time being a seasoned vet, because they'll just throw curveballs at me all day. I'm like, I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yeah, like Star Tours will be 10-minute wait. Like, okay, whatever. Like, I'll go walk around the corner, come back. It's like 45 minutes. You're like, how did that happen?
But I mean, in all fairness, the only ride that's still there since when I first started going to that park is like Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster. Everything else is new and different and changed. So I mean, from 2001 to now, he was like,
oh, okay, yeah.
Like, I haven't had time. Nothing's consistent enough. Every time I go, I'm like, shit, this park's different again. I don't know what's
now. We have a new restaurant.
Yeah.
So let's move on to dining plan. Now, I never purchased. Chelsea and I have never once purchased dining plan, mainly because one, it was just an additional expense, and some would argue an expense that could work out in your favor depending on where you ate or where you had reservations for. But we just never bought it because we're like, well, we never know where we want to eat, and we never know when we're going to want to eat or what we're going to want to eat. So we've never done it. Have any of you had experience with the dining plan? Have you guys ever done it before?
I've looked at it.
I did it once, but it was 15 years ago. And it was when they used to do those free dining weekend weeks, whatever it was. You would like book an on-site hotel and they give you a free dining plan for the week.
Oh,
during like those really slow times of like 2012.
We'll give you
dark
food
times
here.
Yeah, pretty much. It was like in October. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to like. I know if Mr. Lou is still here, I know he's done it. But yeah, I mean, it's just weird because it's like it's kind of like back to what I was saying. Like, you just order whatever you want.
Mr. Lou's still here. He says he's done it many times.
Yeah, so I don't have the forte, I should say. I've just done it once.
So
yeah, I've never done it.
Kind of keeping with the dining thing, one of the things that they had implemented during the pandemic era was the addition of mobile ordering, and that was to cut down on the size of the lines. So I feel like this is pretty unanimous. Like I feel like this is genuinely accepted as this is a good thing. This is one of the few things out of the pandemic that was a good thing. Jake.
Not only in the Disney parks, but like nationally, all the restaurants got an app.
Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, all of it.
I haven't ordered from an actual human for the longest time at a Taco Bell down the street. Mobile app, boom, walk in, it's ready and waiting for me. So anyone who says they don't like mobile ordering is wrong.
I'm a holdout for mobile ordering, not
wrong.
Because listen. Will it make my life easy? Yes. But I have this weird hang up of that I'm ordering fast food on an app. Like I still have to get in my car and go and get it.
Yes.
Because if I have fast food delivered to me, I feel like I'm reaching a new low in my life. I say that having had fast food delivered to me at work a couple of times.
Yep.
So I get it. Maybe I do, Morgan. I don't know.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I still go pick up my own food. I just don't want to talk to people.
Yes, yes. As we say on this program, where
I should
entire
say,
point is to
I
talk.
don't mind talking to people when it's the pleasantries. As soon as they're like, "So you having a great day?" I'm like, "I don't know. We're done." I said hi. I said, "How are you?" And I listened and nodded. We're done. Like, why are we still speaking to each other?
That's how I do my job.
But
Yeah.
and maybe that was just the way technology was going to progress anyway, and it was just people took advantage of the pandemic era and implemented stuff like this. So this is widely, I think, considered one of the better things to come out of the pandemic era. So
Also, from what I've noticed, unlike the lightning lane selections, the mobile ordering is very intuitive. I've had zero problems with it. And it's on the same app. I don't know how. Like, you need to get the mobile ordering guy over here and do the lightning lane. Like, kick that guy out for the app development.
I mean, I've literally walked into this last week. I walked into a restaurant and went, man, this line's kind of long. Opened my phone, ordered my food while in line, and it was ready before the person in front of me ordered their food at the cash register.
Nice. I have it timed to a science. How long it takes me to order Panda Express, get in my car, and get there by the time it's ready. 7 minutes.
Hey, Jake, hate to break it to you. This is not a podcast about Disney stuff. This is an intervention about your Panda Express.
Hold on. Jake, did you get the orange chicken?
Yeah. But only because they've discontinued Sweet Fire chicken.
I was going to be on your side because you got the orange chicken, but you got really defensive.
I mean, it's orange chicken is my second.
You wouldn't get defensive
choice.
if it wasn't a problem.
Guys, I'm telling you, my order was Sweet Fire chicken and Beijing beef, but Sweet Fire's gone, so now it's orange chicken and Beijing beef. What's happening here? I feel attacked. You guys stop it. Mobile ordering is awesome, and I love it everywhere I go, including
Sounds
Disney
like
World.
a case of panda depression.
No.
A pan depression?
Panda depression.
There it is.
More
It was
like-
right there. You missed it.
Panda
Express
more
depress.
like
It was there.
Panda depress.
This is turning into a pandemic.
That looks better.
So I don't know. I think thumbs up on the mobile ordering. I feel like that's something inconsequential and it only enhances.
Also, when I was in Disneyland, I mean, we did both, and both worked just fine. Like, hey, this line was short for this restaurant. We had so many snacks; it was amazing. But waiting in line wasn't any longer or shorter. It seemed they had the whole mobile ordering area to the side. Everything seemed to flow very smoothly. So I'm not going to be angry at Jordan if he prefers to wait in line at a restaurant. That's totally fine.
Let's wait for you.
Well, not always, because a lot of times on the mobile order app, it'll say your time frame of when your food will be ready. And it might not be immediately, but it'll be about just as long as waiting in line. So
Before we move on to the next topic, I do want to bring up a topic that's something that did happen that I feel like people don't realize it happened. Is the change in security for the pandemic.
Okay.
Where they weren't rifling through bags as crazy much, and then that kind of led into this new, what are I call it the pillar system.
It's
where you
like
just
the
walk
metal
through.
detectors. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just walk through, even holding
Right.
your bag with all your stuff in it. Like you just walk through.
You
And
walk
that
through
kind of
and
came out of COVID.
yeah, I always get pinged because I always carry my extra battery in my glass case with me. So they're like, if you take it out and you hold it out in front of you, you won't get pinged. So I did that and I still got pinged. So I don't know what's going on.
goddamn liars.
Yeah, but that's something, and I don't know if this because I just feel like either it's just, or it might have been coincidence that this company came out with this pillar system. but like everywhere I go now has this pillar system, except for Universal Studios.
I love that you keep calling it pillars.
That's what they are. They're just two sticks that come out of the ground and you walk through them, and there's a guy that's doing this.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unless his little computer goes, then he goes, go over there.
And then there's another guy.
It's at the football stadiums, the baseball stadiums, Disney. Like, it's just everywhere now.
Yeah.
And I think it's just to cut down on you putting your bag in front of someone and having to stand 2 feet from them.
Which is weird because I've never been to Universal Studios in Orlando, but the Hollywood one, it's still like airport security.
That's what ours is like.
So they got the pillars, but they do a very thorough bag check, and they have stations. And going from that, because I go every October to Disneyland last month, and it was, this guy. I was like, oh, this is weird and different. So, yeah, I've noticed that too. And just within the same metropolitan area, it's different. What is happening? We're having two conversations, and guys, this is radio.
That's why we didn't bring it up, Jake.
All right, we're at an hour 20, so I have one more thing that I had on my list, and that was the change in the extra magic hours. It used to be if you were staying on property, you got special treatment of either early morning extra magic hours or evening and nighttime extra magic hours. And the question that I've been asking everybody, which I'm going to ask again, is how has it changed how you view the parks? But before I ask that, I can tell you that it has drastically changed how Chelsea and I toured the parks, because now you only get early morning extra magic hours, and it's only a half an hour before the park opens. If you want evening extra magic hours, that is something that is now designated to deluxe only resort guests, which I feel is very classist. Because we're very fortunate that we can pay the money to stay at a moderate for 7 days as part of our Disney vacation experience. And staying at a deluxe resort is something that is almost like a bucket list item for me. Like, my goal is to stay at the Polynesian for a week for a vacation. But now, if you want evening extra magic hours, you have to be staying at a deluxe resort. And I can't speak for everyone on the podcast, but my wife and I are night owls. So if we're more than happy to sleep until 9 or 10, get a late breakfast, and then hit the parks around noon, and then stay out till 1 or 2 in the morning. And so it not only affects how much time we get to spend in the parks, because now we have to wake up early because we don't have that later option anymore, unless we pay for unless we A, stay at a deluxe resort, or B, we pay for like an extracurricular thing, like a dinner party, or like the after hours parties that they have, or we go to one of the seasonal parties. But not only does that change how we go and we view the park, not view the parks, but tour the park, it changes our whole park day, but it also changes how we go about making dinner plans. Because now we don't have that option of, well, we're going to be at Magic Kingdom from, let's say, 5 p.m. and extra magic hours lets us stay till midnight. We're going to be in this park. Where do we want to go? Like, it's all right, well, this park closes at 8. All the parks close at 8 now. So I guess we're going to Disney Springs, and I guess we're just going to eat there or something. So this is something that I personally think was not a good change during the pandemic. And I think it's something that Disney specifically, if I don't know if Iger is planning on implementing any of this, but that's something I think he should roll back. If you're going to make us pay for the Lightning Lane, the Genie Plus, and the Lightning Lane Plus system, while also taking away 2 of our Fast Pass options, why do we have to also pay to have that extra nighttime experience? Like, if you want me in the park, I'm already in your bubble. I'm already at your resorts. Why is it costs them nothing to let us stay in the park longer. So I don't see why that would be something that is considered something for only the most elitist of guests staying at the deluxe resorts.
Which Mr. Loop points out that it's just another thing that takes away from the value of staying on property unless you're staying in one of those resorts, which
exactly.
I can't.
Well, it's a weird process because I don't know a single person who's staying at like a value resort who hears about that additional 30 minutes and they're like, well, damn, now I got to upgrade. Like, it's not worth that price point. So why offer it to that level? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, no one's biting the bullet for a couple extra hours and paying an extra $9,000 to go from Pop Century to Contemporary.
But yeah, this is another weird, and to agree with Jordan on this one, like, first of all, this is where this Hollywood Studios is an enigma again. That 30 minutes, you can somehow get Tower of Terror and Rock and Roller Coaster done. I did it last trip. Don't know why. That 30 minutes, both rides are empty because everyone runs the Rise and the Millennium Falcon simulator. And it's not a good ride. Anyone who tells you it's a good ride are liars.
It's a good ride.
It's not a good ride.
It's a good ride.
But then also, I would understand, like this last trip, the parks closed at 10. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, we obviously were not staying at a deluxe resort. So it was like, cool, like maybe we'll just go hit up a resort bar or something. No, those all close at 11. If you want me to keep spending money at your resort, even if you tell me, like for you at a moderate, you go back to Quarter. You're a French Quarter person.
Yeah, we do Port Orleans.
But like you go back, let's say Coronado. Yeah, and you're like, oh, you can just get on the bus, go back. We'll go to the bar. Oh, it closes in 10 minutes. Like, yeah. And as well as Disney is this bubble, once you go back to your resort, there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
So why would you not want to keep people in your parks to spend money?
And especially
you're already at operating costs.
Yeah.
You're already at 10 p.m. You're at profit.
Right.
Keep profit going.
The cast members are there working for the
pennies on the dollar.
Right. They're already there for the deluxe people. Just let
especially the DCP. Just
to further stack onto this point, you point out that Jordan's a French Quarter guy. I'm a pop guy. I'm a Pop Century guy. You want to talk about nothing to do at night?
Oh, right.
Their bar is a pool bar. There's 3 benches or 3 stools. Like
sounds like there's 4 things to do.
That's why you walk over to Art of Animation where all the families stay because they all go to bed and that bar's wide open.
It's all the way across the bridge.
Hey, you can use this time.
Or I could just stay in the park for an extra couple hours and spend that money there. I'm just saying, like, it's weird that this company, you've kind of opened up my brain on this. I'm like, this company who literally thrives on you spending money is blocking a very large portion of its guests from spending money at night. And now that we've put this out, it's kind of blowing my mind.
And I don't know if that's, are they forcing us to go to the Disney Springs option? Or are they forcing us to go back to like resort restaurants and bar options? But I mean, if your park is closing at 8 and we don't have, as the lowly, moderate and value resort guests, we don't have access to the park. Like, what, like, I guess I'm just confused as to what their mentality behind it is, because I can only assume like it was a good thing before. maybe this was, there's something going on that I just, I don't claim to be an expert about this. And maybe this was something that was very strategic as far as, well, whenever we reopened for COVID, everything was opening in tiers. We're still trying to get cast member numbers back up to where they were. So cast members, we only have the number of cast members to accommodate the number of extra Magic Hour guests for this block of hotels versus this block and this block of hotels, or this block, and this block of hotels. I don't know if there's something going on with that as well in those numbers, but it just seems that being this far post post reopening, we're going on, we're halfway through 2023. We're almost rounding year 3 of finding out about what COVID is. So, and for all intents, we are still technically by the CDC in a pandemic. We still have not been downgraded to an endemic. But right. So, but we're operating as if it's done. Like that was just the thing we went through, and now we're back to quote unquote normal, whatever that is. But
I live in Utah. We've been done for 2.5 years.
Yeah, right. I live in
side
Georgia.
note, Disney Springs also closes at 11.
Right. So the Disney Springs as a greater whole closes at 11, right? Like all of the shops close down, but there are some of the restaurants in like the old Pleasure Island area and like that will stay open. Like Edison will seat you for a while. They're open. You can still get food, but and I will say that the buses do go back and forth.
Stop running at midnight, I think, at Springs. They stop running an hour after the stores are closed. So if you're at Edison's at 12:01,
right, you're
get
calling
you a
an
minivan.
Uber. Yeah, you're calling an Uber. So yeah, it just seems like a weird thing to do, to funnel people out of the park to other places on property, potentially off property.
Right.
I didn't get that.
Oops, sorry, Siri. Oh wait, Siri. You don't have to
one thing I forgot to bring up. I know this is going to be very random. One plus about Genie Plus is that when you buy Genie Plus, it comes with PhotoPass for the day.
What?
True.
Yes. It does?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did like that.
That is
a
a plus.
Like yeah. Because we've paid for the Photo Plus package a number of times, and so, but I'm happy that it does come with PhotoPass. But I don't know. Like it just seems like a weird move to not reinstate those evening extra magic hours. And I can tell you that there's for everything that we discussed, if that was the one thing that they walked back on, I would have a much easier time justifying Genie Plus and Lightning Lane and some of the other upcharges that we've been getting, and the park reservation system and the et cetera, et cetera.
Here.
Yeah.
I was radio. I'm nodding.
It's very interesting because seriously, it's weird. Like how, Jake and everyone said, it's like they don't want us to spend more money.
Yeah.
And I don't know why.
It kind of blows my mind. And
offer value resorts or moderate resorts a slight upcharge to go after the park's closed.
Yeah, and Mr. Lou even said that they think we'll go to Springs, which we just established closes at 11. But instead, he's going to go back to his room and get a $10 dinner and watching Netflix.
Oh, but Miss Lou also says the next one down, Jake.
The photo pass used to just come with your annual pass. They just moved it over.
But this is also for those people who don't have annual passes that they don't have to buy a trip long photo pass.
Right.
For, say,
you get it for the day, not the trip. Yeah.
Right.
And just to kind of wrap this up, I've joked about it on the show many a time, but I'll do it again. That everything that we've talked about here tonight, I feel like Disney spent the last 3 years, like for new announcements to get people to be excited, is they've just announced stuff that they had before the pandemic. They're like, hey, Fantasmic is here. We're like, yeah, we had that, but it's back. Or like they just did it with the dining plan. It was like, hey guys, guess what? Dining plan. Like, okay, give us something new.
No, they canceled all those.
What?
They canceled all that.
Yeah, they canceled all the new stuff.
That's true, they did.
Look at Epcot.
So, like, they've been riding this wave of just regurgitating what we've already had, and like the extra magic hours, we still haven't got some of them back. That's what it is. That's their ace in the hole. They're like, guys, when we announce that everyone can have extra magic hours again,
I mean,
it's game over for Epic Universe. No one's gonna go there. That's their universal killer, is their extra magic hours. You'll see next year.
Oh man, what if that's what they are waiting for? Son of a bitch.
Don't worry, everyone. Extra magic hours when Epic opens in 2025.
So we got a year and a half before they announce it, 2 years before we can actually use it. That's how they're going to get people to stay on property at night.
But sir, if everyone has extra magic hours, there's no extra magic hours.
No, it's just it's fine. Oh man. Well, hold on. Ryan, you are not the mayor of Pleasure Island.
1, how the fuck would you know? 2,
Yes, I'm the mayor of Pleasure Island.
No, you're not secretly a robot.
Well, I'm also the mayor of Pleasure Island.
This is how we're wrapping up the episode. Jordan, do you have like a big, like a final speech, or just you just kind of end on a?
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do the Susie Eddy ending. No, listen. The whole point that we talked about this was just because just in the last 3 years alone, there have been some changes, some unchanges, and then changes again to Disney World. And I know that the four of us have been going for at least the last 10 years. And we knew the park a long time ago when it was drastically different and prices were astronomically lower. So it's interesting to just, I guess, talk and compare and contrast what's different. And then I understand that people have certain opinions about certain things. Like some people like Genie Plus, some people don't like Genie Plus. Some people like Fast Pass Plus or Lightning Lane Plus. Some people don't. The mobile ordering thing, which seems to be universally loved. So it was more of talking about those things that have been implemented, and just overall for people that have been at the parks or have gone to the parks multiple times, how has it changed what you do at the park? And does it also weigh on your decision to go back to the parks?
Yeah. You know what we should do? We should revisit like in a year or two, come back and listen to this episode and see what's changed since now.
I think that's a good idea.
Like we're not done yet. I mean, we're still in a pandemic. I've just learned.
You know what I miss about COVID? People being 6 feet away from me at all times.
Okay, when I went to Disney World mid-pandemic, the spacing in line. Oh, mwah.
Hold on though, Morgan. You've caught every version of COVID since COVID.
You're not doing a very good job.
How do you think he keeps people 6 feet away from him?
I work in a petri dish.
It's true.
I know you do. I know you do.
I used every sick day last year.
I have humans that participate in said petri dish, not yours, a different one. So that's completely understand. Kids are gross,
and kids don't like wearing masks, especially high schoolers that are being just annoying
in the state of Georgia.
Yeah, that too.
My kids actually
first state to open up. Woo! We're number 1.
Oh no, that's not
on the COVID list.
I will say, since Ryan's here, I would like to say this. The one thing I do kind of miss about the pandemic era is going and watching the AEW pay-per-views in his dad's backyard with the TV out on the back patio. Those are some fun times.
I never got invited to that. Morgan, did you get invited to that?
I don't know. I don't remember. No, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll be on AW and Collision in 3 weeks, so watch out.
Hey, me too.
I'm thinking about getting a ticket because Tyler.
Oh, I'm front row hard cam.
Nice.
Always.
I will be on television.
I saw today that tickets were going to be $20 for that area, and I'm like, $20. I think that's worth it.
But Jordan, here's the thing: at $20, you also get extra magic hours to that event.
Son of a bitch!
Wait until you get there and you get that TK Plus.
We're getting Dynamite and Collision, so you are getting extra magic hours.
That's true, and Rampage probably.
Yep, we're getting 5
I
hours.
love
of
that
wrestling,
game. All right, Morgan, Ryan, thank you guys for being here.
Thank
Anytime.
you for having me.
As long as Josh is not here.
Wait, what?
As long as Josh isn't here.
Jeez.
Josh is fine. It's Giuseppe that I can't stand.
See, I'm not the only one.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
No, it wasn't.
It's
No, it
not a
wasn't.
joke,
It was true.
Giuseppe.
It's a
not a
running
joke.
gag.
It is not a running gag.
He's crying.
Giuseppe, I love you.
Good.
Thank you, Morgan.
Shut up, Morgan.
See,
You're welcome.
see, the
He
insult's
spells
pretty
his name
good.
the right way.
You know, I have to autocorrect that every time I spell it. It's so hard to spell. It's really hard
Why
to
did
spell.
you come up with the name if you can't spell
I didn't
it?
come up with it. Don't push this on me. Hey, anyway, Morgan, you are welcome back anytime you want. Ryan, you are this close to becoming a permanent member. So watch your ass.
Well, Jake, if I can have a rebuttal, I'm this close to being a permanent member on this podcast, so watch your ass.
Or
Don't
Watch
threaten
his
me with a good
pack mule.
time, Ryan. What, Morgan?
watch his pack mule.
Oh, that is my ass.
Or if I can raise a rebuttal,
Hey, watch
Hey, where'd
Tiki
Ryan
on
go?
Twitch. Hold on, I'm about to plug him.
Joke
Watch Tiki
Pause.
Goon on Twitch. Listen to the hearsay anywhere streaming music is available.
They're
Right,
very
I-
good live also.
I'm not even joking.
thank you, Morgan.
I-
Thank you.
and
Jake.
Stay tuned for
watched-
the brand new episode of the Cinema Showdown podcast.
Episode 4.
Coming out next week. And if you ask me next week, it'll be next week.
It's just a perpetual. It's like flying cars. 20 years, we'll have them. Next week, Cinema Showdown. Be sure to check out Jordan's channel, Jordan Gasly on YouTube. And stay tuned for some What the Heck is Jake Talking About also on YouTube. Got some good things coming out.
And
So-
possibly a Mambo number 5 joke.
Possibly. Definitely. I've already animated that part, Ryan. It's so good. It's so good, but I can't show anyone yet because Jordan won't let me until it's done. Anyway, hey, we're the Mickey Mutineers, and Smuggler's Run is awesome.
Am I in?
Yeah, you're in.
Yes.
There's a joke there.
It seems like no.
Still a joke there.
Please tell me you were live.
Oh, we're live. That's gonna be right.
Right,
That's-
back.
That's the TikTok. That's
And
the
someone
TikTok.
clip it.